morning. Today we're going to start a new unit on Greek theater. If you missed today, I'm just going to walk you through the notes that you missed. The first thing I need you to do is go to Canvas and locate the Antigone Oedipus Rex module. In this unit, we're going to read two stories. One is Antigone, one is Oedipus Rex. We'll start them next week. Today we started going through just some introductory notes to Greek theater. So if you would pull open the guided notes and print those or save them so that you can edit them as we go through the PowerPoint. Okay? So if you haven't done that already, please pause this recording so that you can print your notes and follow along. Okay. So let's go through this together. All right, there are three types of Greek drama. The first is comedy, and we're not going to read a comedy this year, but you know what a comedy is. Comedies were satirical plays, and that means they were kind of sarcastic, kind of ironic. They usually mocked men who were in power. They made fun of everyday life and ordinary people. And comedies, modern comedy movies today exist on the same principle. We make fun of people in power, and we make fun of certain types of ordinary everyday people. The Office would be an example of a comedy because it makes fun of normal people in an office workspace, right? You have your boss, Michael Scott, and you have stereotypical characters like Dwight, who's the suck-up, and Jim, who's the wise, the wise guy, right? Who's always cracking jokes. Okay, we're going to focus on tragedies in this unit. So what sets a tragedy apart from other types of Greek drama is that it shows the downfall of a noble hero through a combination of pride, fate, and the God's will. The hero doesn't always die at the end, but he always undergoes some sort of major change. If you think about the normal heroes that you think of in stories, usually everybody lives and the hero lives happily ever after, but not so much in Greek drama. In a tragedy, your hero is either going to die or at the end of the play somehow become a different person than when the play started. He's going to undergo some sort of change. Also, Greek tragedies, as the name implies, is a tragedy, so it's usually not going to have a happy ending. All right, and then the last thing is the satyr plays. Satyr plays were short plays that occurred in between the acts of tragedies. So when you read a play, we have anywhere between 3 and 5 acts in a play, and they acted as sort of commercial breaks to sort of lighten the mood, because tragedies were usually pretty dark, lots of like bad stuff happening to the characters on stage. So to sort of lighten the mood, these satyr plays would break up the monotony of all that drama with something comical. And you can kind of compare it to like an SNL skit today, a Saturday Night Live skit, where they would take the characters and the things that were going on in the play and sort of make fun of it. It would point out the foolishness of the characters on stage and kind of lighten the mood. All right. There are 4 types of Greek tragedy characters. Remember, this only applies to Greek tragedies, not comedies, not necessarily satyr plays. All right, the first is your main character. He's the tragic hero. The thing about the tragic hero is that he must be noble in birth, and he must go through a series of unfortunate trials or events. Let's think of some modern day tragic heroes. Batman would be a good example, right? He comes from a noble birth. He came from a very wealthy family, and through his life, he must undergo many obstacles, right? Like his parents dying at a young age, being raised as an orphan, encountering injustice, and eventually he undergoes a change and becomes the crime fighter Batman. That's our tragic hero. So his story is not always positive or happy, but he's still a hero at the end. Okay, the chorus. The chorus plays an important role. It's a group of 12 to 15 men, which, by the way, all Greek theater, and even in Shakespeare's time, all theater was performed by men actors, okay? So women weren't allowed on stage. If they needed a female character, they would usually choose a young boy who hadn't hit puberty, so his voice was really high pitched, and so he would play the female parts. Okay, that's just some side notes. So the chorus was a group of 12 to 15 men, and they would sing songs to narrate the play. They would tell you what was going on, summarize what just happened, or they would pose questions to the audience to make you think about what might be happening next. The leader of the chorus was called the choragus. All right, the gods also play an important role in the tragedy. And by gods, I mean the Greek and Roman gods, little g. The hero either encounters the gods themselves, like Zeus and Athena and Hera, or they encounter the oracles or the prophets. And these were sort of divine characters as well. These are people who can predict the future, and they speak for the gods. Now, the gods or the oracle prophets either try to keep the tragic hero from achieving his goal, or they try to warn him that something bad is about to happen. And of course, nobody ever listens, right? Because this is a tragedy. Had they listened, had they heeded advice, there wouldn't be a tragedy. Okay. Then there's minor characters. These are just everyone else in the story, and they could be a character or a person that the main tragic hero encounters, or it could be an obstacle, like if this person had to defeat a monster or overcome a specific task, that would be considered a minor character. Okay. This slide got left out of your guided notes, so I just want you to write down a couple of things. The first one is the idea of hubris. Hubris is a word that means pride, okay? And pride or hubris is usually the most important tragic flaw that a hero has in the story. So they're always going to have some flaw that makes them fail. Usually it's hubris or pride. It could also be vanity. It could also be the flaw of falling in love too easily, and this is their tragic downfall, right? Okay. Hamartia is a word that means downfall. Peripetia means the reversal of fortune. So because of the tragic downfall, the hero is going to experience peripetia, or the reversal of fortune, where they lose everything. So that's kind of when the play hits its climax, hits its turning point, where everything falls apart for the tragic hero and he's come undone or he is defeated in some way. These words will make more sense as we read the story, but I just want you to know those three definitions: hubris, hamartia, and peripetia. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the chorus. This is the group of 12 to 15 men. Okay, there's three types of songs that they can sing, and we're going to encounter all three types when we read Antigone. All right, the Parados is your entrance song. This is the very first thing that opens the play. Before any action, you're going to hear an entrance song from the chorus, and it's going to give you background information, what time period we're in, where is our setting. It's going to kind of set the story up for you so that you know where you are and when you are when the play opens. The sastema are the songs that occur throughout the play. So like I said, during a tragedy, you would have commercial breaks with those satyr plays, but you would also have more songs from the chorus, and these songs, the sastema songs, would summarize what has just happened in the play or pose questions to make the audience think about what may happen next. And then the exodos, those are exit songs. So the play, the Greek tragedies, are always going to begin and end with a song from the chorus. They're going to get the first and the last word in. The exodos is the exit song that concludes the play. All right. So all of the songs are divided into three sections. You don't exactly need to know these three sections, but you will encounter these words when we're reading Antigone, so I just kind of wanted you to be aware of them. We have the strophe, the antistrophe, and the epode, okay? And these are just different types of lyrical formatting, different types of rhythm and rhyme scheme that you see in songs, okay? So that's strophe, antistrophe, and epode. And those are how the songs are divided. All right, choral songs summarize the main events of the play and they point out deeper questions to the audience. And the chorus will never be a part of the action. The only person that they may talk to besides the audience is the tragic hero. So sometimes the chorus will interact with the tragic hero. The chorus will always interact with the audience, but the chorus will never interact with any other character in the play. All right, so who was Sophocles? Sophocles is the author of the Greek plays that we're going to read this unit. He was born around 495 BC. All you really need to know about him is that he wrote the Oedipus cycle. That's this word down here that begins with an O. He wrote the Oedipus cycle, which is a trilogy of plays, so 3 plays in all. It starts with Oedipus Rex, and this is his most well-known play. And when I give you the story of Oedipus Rex, you're going to know why it's his most well-known story. Oedipus Rex literally means Oedipus the king, and it's the most tragic, overly dramatic family drama you've ever heard. And so once I reveal all the details of the story, you're going to understand why it's his most well-known. It's because it's such a crazy story. So Oedipus Rex is the first one in the trilogy. The second one is called Oedipus at Colonus, and it just tells what happens to our main character at the end of Oedipus Rex, but before Antigone. We're going to skip Oedipus of Colonus, and then we're going to read Antigone. Antigone is going to be the full play that we read. It's the end of the trilogy, and it kind of ties all the loose ends together. Okay? And that is all. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. There will be a quiz over this information the week that we get back on Thursday. Let's see, October 8th, Thursday, October 8th, we will have a quiz over this. So please email me if you were absent and you have any questions. All right, thanks.